Everything began in lands where time was still young and rivers brought fertility. The first words of human history were carved into these clay tablets. This is Mesopotamia. The cradle of civilization, the homeland of legends, and in the most magnificent corner of these ancient lands, a city rose up, defying the heavens with its massive walls, Uruk. At the head of Uruk stood a king unlike any ordinary mortal, Gilgamesh. He was 2/3 god and 1/3 man. The divine blood flowing through his veins gave him an unshakable will and immense power. However, this power gradually turned into a dark shadow. Gilgamesh traded his wisdom for arrogance and his justice for tyranny. The king, who had become an unstoppable force, gave his people no respite. As the streets of Uruk echoed with cries, these pleas finally reached the heavens, reaching the gods. Gilgamesh now had to be restrained. The gods decided to create a mirror for this arrogant lion, a rival to balance his savage power. From the heart of nature, a spirit equal to him would be born. Enkidu. Son of nature, the birth of Enkidu. The cruelty Gilgamesh inflicted upon the people of Uruk reached the ears of the gods. Hearing the cries of the people, the sky god Anu called out to the mother goddess Aruru, "Create someone equal to Gilgamesh, so that they may fight each other and Uruk may find peace." Aruru takes a piece of clay in her hand and throws it onto the plain. At that moment, Enkidu is born. His body is covered in hair, his hair is thick like wheat, a giant unaware of civilization. He is a wild man who grazes with animals, drinks water with them, representing the raw power of nature. The process of humanization, Shamhat, and wisdom. However, when this wild force disrupts the hunter's traps, things change. Shamhat, a temple prostitute, is sent to tame Enkidu. Shamhat teaches Enkidu not only sexuality, but also how to eat bread, drink beer, and dress. At the end of this 6-day, 7-night process, Enkidu has changed. The animals now flee from him because he is no longer a savage, but a rational human being. Shamhat tells him about Gilgamesh. "You are the only one who can match him, Enkidu. Go and show him your true strength." The great battle, the earth and sky tremble. When Enkidu arrived at the gates of Uruk, The calendar showed it was a wedding day. Gilgamesh was about to take possession of another bride when a huge shadow closed the gate. Enkidu. The greatest clash in history begins. Two giants lock horns like bulls. As fists rain down, walls crack. The ground shakes from the sound of their footsteps, and the city gates rattle. Neither Gilgamesh nor Enkidu backs down during this days-long battle for the first time in their lives. Both encounter an other equal to themselves, as powerful as they are. The first great bromance. Eternal friendship. When the dust settles, that anger gives way to deep respect. Gilgamesh is amazed by the courage of this wild man before him. Enkidu, in turn, is struck by the king's nobility. Instead of clenching their fists, they lean on each other's shoulders. The first great bromance story in history begins here. They are no longer just friends, but two souls that complete each other, two unshakable companions. Silence. No one who entered this forest ever came out alive. But they didn't know that. What they were about to encounter was not merely a monster. It was the wrath of the gods incarnate. Swords were drawn, the earth shook. Man and beast faced each other in that moment, written by fate. And finally, Baba fell to the ground. While the death of Humbaba disturbs the gods, the goddess Ishtar is captivated by Gilgamesh's strength and fame. And he approaches her. He offers her his love. He proposes that she become the wife of a goddess. However, Gilgamesh recalls how Ishtar had led her previous lovers to ruin and contemptuously rejects the offer. This rejection is unacceptable to the goddess. Filled with rage, Ishtar ascends to the heavens and demands vengeance. The gods unleash the sky bull upon the earth. Every time the bull strikes the ground, the earth splits open, people die. But Gilgamesh and Enkidu are still facing it. They fight together, and finally, they kill the bull of heaven too. This is humanity's second great victory over the gods. But for the gods, this is now a violation of boundaries. A price must be paid, and the decision is made. Enkidu will die. Enkidu falls seriously ill. Days pass. His strength wanes. Finally, he closes his eyes to life. Gilgamesh faces true pain for the first time. This is no longer a story of victory. It is the story of a king who has met death. The heroism that began with Humbaba's death turns into tragedy with Enkidu's death. And a single question echoes in Gilgamesh's mind. If Enkidu is dead, will I die too? Enkidu's death leaves a deep void in Gilgamesh's heart. The once mighty king is now unrecognizable. He has been defeated for the first time, but this defeat is not against an enemy. It is against death. As he gazes at his friend's lifeless body, a single question echoes in his mind. If Enkidu is dead, will I die like this too? At that moment, Gilgamesh confronts his own mortality for the first time. Can even a king descended from the gods escape death? This fear does not hold him back. On the contrary, it drives him toward the unknown. Gilgamesh sets out on a journey to discover the secret of immortality. His goal is no longer glory, but eternal life. Gilgamesh reaches the dark and impassable mountains. These mountains conceal an unknown realm where even the sun cannot penetrate. Only the brave can pass through here. At the gates of the mountains, the scorpion men greet him, half human, half scorpion. Their gaze is deadly, their duty sacred. They sense Gilgamesh's fear, but they also see his determination, and they make way for him. After a long and dark journey, Gilgamesh encounters the wise woman Siduri. Siduri immediately notices the fear in his eyes, and she speaks to him those words that have echoed for thousands of years. O Gilgamesh, the gods gave death to humans and kept life for themselves. Therefore you appreciate the food you eat, the clothes you wear, and the people you love. Enjoy the moment you live in. But the fear in Gilgamesh's heart has not yet subsided. Though Siduri's words are wise, he still seeks a way to escape death, and his journey has only just begun. Gilgamesh reaches the end of the world, where even the gods have drawn their boundaries. Here there is no city, nor the sound of human voices, only the memory of the flood and endless waters. Finally, Gilgamesh comes face to face with the only man who has attained immortality, Utnapishtim, the man who survived the great flood, the man granted mercy by the gods, the Noah of mankind. Gilgamesh asks, "You have become immortal. Why can't I?" Utnapishtim's answer is short and heavy. Immortality is not gained through power, but through trial. Utnapishtim presents Gilgamesh with a test. 6 days, 7 nights. If you can stay awake, you will earn immortality. But on the very first day, Gilgamesh's eyes close. The hero, King of Kings, falls asleep on the very first night. That's when they understand. Immortality does not belong to the human body. No matter how strong a person may be, they succumb to sleep, time, and death. Gilgamesh does not find immortality on this journey, but he learns the truth of being human. Utnapishtim gives Gilgamesh one last chance. Not immortality, but there is a plant that restores youth. At the bottom of the seas, thorny and dangerous. Gilgamesh descends to the bottom of the sea as if challenging the gods. Despite the pain, he plucks the plant. "I will take this to Uruk. I will give it to the elders. Then I will try it myself." But fate has the final say. While Gilgamesh was bathing in the lake, a snake steals a plant, and by shedding its skin, it renews its youth. Gilgamesh weeps. All this journey, all this pain, it has been lost in a moment of carelessness. But Gilgamesh returns. He looks at the walls of Uruk, at the works he himself had built. And finally, he understands. True immortality is not a herb to be drunk. True immortality lives on in the works created, in the stories told, in a name remembered. Gilgamesh did not become immortal, but his name is still being told thousands of years later.